Yeah. Paul, you can hear us? All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the special meeting of the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors, November 14th, 2024. Closed session 7:30 p.m., open session 8:30 p.m. We are in person at OPA Saddleback Valley, Lake Forest, teleconference locations, OPA Preparatory Academy, South Orange County, and then also Director Kagoo in Norway. Public comment opportunities. Members of the public may make comments at special meetings of the Board of Directors regarding closed session items, agendized items, and non-agendized items. Comments may be made in person or via Zoom teleconference. Please turn in a comment card to the Board Secretary, Michael DeLune. Requests for a comment may also be submitted via electronic submission or email. Submissions must be received prior to the start of the applicable community input time. If members of the public wish to email comments to be read during the meeting, please email them to publiccomments@opaschools.org by 7:30 p.m. on November 14, 2024. Public comments, including emailed comments, shall be limited to 3 minutes per comment, with up to 20 minutes of public comment per topic on the agenda. Reasonable accommodation with at least 48 hours notice. Any individual with a disability who requires reasonable accommodation to participate in a Board of Directors meeting may request assistance by contacting public comment at opaschools.org or 949-600-9050. The video and audio recordings of the meeting will be posted on the OPA website approximately 24 to 48 hours after the meeting. The public may attend the board meeting in person or via the following Zoom webinar: https://oxfordchampions.zoom.us/j/32032462235, meeting ID 320-324-6235. We'll now call the meeting to order by the board vice president at 7:37 p.m. And we will do a roll call. Director Travis is absent. Director Kagoo.
Present.
Director Smith is present. Director DeLune.
Present.
And Director Freiler. Item B, approval of the agenda for the special meeting of the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors on November 14, 2024. It is recommended that the Board of Directors approve the agenda for the special meeting of the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors on November 14, 2024. May I get a motion and a second?
So moved. Oh, second.
All right. Any discussion? Okay, we'll move to roll call vote. Member Travis, absent. Member Kagoo.
Aye.
Member Smith is aye. Member DeLune.
Aye.
And Member Freiler. Aye. Thank you. Item 2, community input on closed session agenda items. Members of the public may comment on items listed on the closed session agenda only. A speaker may not relinquish their time to another person. Board Secretary, are there any comments regarding the items listed under closed session?
None were received.
Thank you. Closed session, item number 3 for discussion and possible action. Item A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, 54956.9, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision B of section 54956.9 : 3 cases, sorry. Item B, conference with real property negotiators, government code 54956.8. And C, public employee appointment, discipline, dismissal, release, 54957. And with that, we will convene to closed. All right, we are back reconvening to open session at 8:54 p.m. And we have a report of no action was taken in closed session. And with that, do we have somebody lined up for flag salute? Dr. Henry, do you want to lead us? Thank you.
Please stand. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, items for presentation and discussion. Item A, board member search. I will turn it over to Dr. Fricker.
Okay, so this evening, I'm just going to briefly present on our new board member selection process. It's very similar to the process that we went into about 6 months ago. And this process has a couple different dates. November 5th is when we just announced the application request for the new vacancy that will be impending. We know that our board terms are ending in January, so this would be something that we would have to do anyway. November 5th through the 25th is really that application window for when we're hoping to get a robust amount of applications. December 4th and 9th is when we have slated to do that first round of interviews. And then the second round would be at the December 12th board meeting where we do that in open session. Again, but there are two members who term out in January. Mr. Kagu did select not to go for reappointment. So this would be the position that we're trying to fill. Then in January 16th, the new member would be sworn in, and then we would do the board reorganization process just to assign that person to committees at that time. The open vacancy or the vacancy that would happen does not have a board officer's position, but we would have to reassign that person to a committee. And then we would go through an orientation process with that new member. So, like I said before, we have just a situation for June and January are the times when board members term out. And again, we intend to have that notification process, that 30-day window according to our bylaws, and make sure that we are following the bylaws in this process. Again, I mentioned that Mr. Kadu is not seeking reappointment, and we've already begun to, fill this process. So hopefully by the 12th, we will have a good way marking on who our new board member will be. Just to remind everybody that we do look for equity amongst the board profile, and that was with a diverse representation of board members. Also, the tenure of their balance. This is according to the bylaws where board members are issued 2-year terms, and then they have a 3-year consecutive term maximum or 6 years total for each term. And we also want equitable representation. So to look at the equitable representation, the first time that we were seeking board members, we devised, and actually Dr. Kiermig devised, a board member composition profile, which just outlines the inner circle of that colored area. You see the school or community representation, making sure that we have representatives, or we want to have representatives on our board that do represent the community and then all 3 of our school sites. And the outer circle is just some of those areas that are, again, in our bylaws and or charter, where you would have characteristics of board members that could contribute to those board decisions. So having a well-rounded board, if you will. And to look for board members in this board member selection, we know that Mr. Kagu was adept at finance, so that may be an area that the board wishes to consider. Also, construction, real estate, or the social human services aspect of that wheel that you see on the right. And then at this point, we're just going to start that search. If you have any questions for us. No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we will move on to item B, ELOP, EEBG, and MTSS grant expenditure updates from Dr. Henry.
I have the alphabet soup presentation here. If you recall, 2 board meetings ago, we presented our new ELOP plans to you, and that I have what all these stand for on the next slide. And we told you we would come back with some of the expenditure of and some background with the funding. So these are 3 different funding buckets, we can say. The first one is the one that you approved the plan, and it's called the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. And that one is designed, the funding is specifically designed to provide funding for before school, after school, and summer enrichment programs. The funding applies to grades TK through 6th. And the board approved these plans again on September 19th, 2024. The plan was first awarded in 2021-22, and the apportionments have increased over the years. You're going to see that this funding was a direct result of COVID. The state wanted to provide extra money so kids can go to school longer, have more experiences, and help with that kind of COVID learning slide that happened. And the money kind of kept growing. And some of the money we didn't get at the beginning of the year, but you'll see that. The second bucket of funding is the Educator Effectiveness Block Grant. We call that EEBG. That was one-time money that we were given specifically for professional development for our staff. And we did submit a plan, and that was approved when we first received the funding in December 2021. The funds have been used for the implementation of our writing program. I would say that would be the biggest chunk of it. Also, GATE certification of 12 of our professors, PBIS implementation, staff professional development reimbursement funds. Those are $1,000 funds that if our staff members want to pursue some additional education, they then do an application to us, and we reimburse them up to $1,000 a year, and that comes from this. Our staff have taken advantage of all different types of opportunities. When we had the funding, we only had our 2 schools, so you can see how much each of our sites were apportioned. $147,000 to SOC and $132,000, almost 33 to SV. And then in 2022, we applied for an MTSS grant. MTSS is a multi-tiered system of supports. And we were granted like a cohort of our schools, and they even counted us, like I stand as the district lead, and then the two LEAs. And then they allowed us actually to add on the middle school because we applied as a cohort. So when the middle school opened, they are able to access this funding, although not the other 2 funds. And we use that for MTSS certification. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then implementing our framework in different practices to serve our students. So if you look at the ELOP, this is the one bucket of money that the allocation, we get more money every year. And we're never quite sure how much because it's based on the governor's budget. But that first year in 21-22, the total we received was $144,000. You can see we didn't spend a lot of it because we didn't receive it at the beginning of the year. So the budget was all done. We get this money, and you're going to see kind of this balance running through that we our plan for 24-25 this school year is to kind of bring it down. We are not the only LEA that has that issue. In fact, the state had publicized that as of last school year, all districts, you must spend your 21-22 funding by 23-24. So most districts are behind because money keeps getting larger and we weren't sure how much we were getting, so we didn't want to spend it ahead of time. You can see in 22-23 how much funding we were allocated, close to $400,000, and then 23-24 last year $366,000, and then I have 24-25 on the next slide. You can see how much of it we spent, how much of a balance is kind of rolling along, and what we spent the activities on. So for that first year, it was really just summer school student food, because we do provide lunches in the summer, as well as services and some supplies for summer school. And then that's when the money grew to a much larger fund. So we had summer school salaries and benefits, summer school and after school clubs and equipment, material and supplies. Some of those included STEAM equipment, the garden club. SOC had a drill team at the time. We had like flags and did some things with that. We bought some musical instruments, and then also we use the Boys and Girls Club for summer support. They actually teach half of the STEAM, so it's also used to pay for that. In 23-24, again, salary and benefits for summer school. Because the funding kept getting larger, districts were using it for ELOP oversight. And so portions of like our director of student services could be used with those funds as well. Summer school materials, summer school food, you can see the amount. Because it is an after school program, we did use some of the funding because our YMCA portable at SV is owned by OPA, but it was in the need of some repairs. We couldn't use it, and it's used exclusively for our before school and after school programs. And then also the Boomerang Project, which was a training to help support our 5th grade. And we did our summer 5th grade transition in summer school. And then this year, you can see our funding. The middle school did get funding for the first time. It is smaller because, as I shared when we approved these plans, that middle school funding is only for 6th grade. It's TK through 6. So they don't receive money, funding for 7th or 8th grade. And so there's our total, but we also have a balance of about $200,000. So we met early in the school year, and we will be spending the money on our after school and summer programs, salaries, benefits, like we usually would do. For the middle school, we're able to fund some of those 8th period classes because they are after school, as long as 6th graders are being served in the program. So we're able to do that. A little bit more detail there for oversight of ELOP. For the middle school, it was 10% of the PE teacher for the after school programs and sports. Our comp sci teacher has an 8th period, as well as music teacher. Because I spend a lot of time on ELOP approvals, and we were able to offset 15% of my salary to directly oversee this program, 25% of student services salary. And then you're probably aware that our YMCA programs are really large. At both SOC and SV, and we needed some extra custodial help. So we staggered the times of our custodians, and while they're serving the after school programs, that portion of their salary can also be used for ELOP funding.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, so that was it for ELOP.
Okay,
I was
yeah,
going to
before you
pause
go on
there,
there,
and
yeah.
before I go on to the next one, yes.
It's great news that we now are getting this for the middle school as well.
Yes.
I just wanted to confirm. So you're saying that prior to the 24-25 funding, none of that other funding was spent for the middle school?
No, what we did strategically when we were still 2 TK8s, we received a lot of funding in the arts, music, and instructional materials grant. And we worked really hard to buy all the equipment that was needed for the middle school. while they were still 2 TK8s. So it was a different funding source. It's gone now, but it was about $500,000. We used $150,000 for music equipment, $150,000 for athletic equipment, $150,000 for there were 3 STEAM, and then about $50,000 for our world languages. So that was also a different plan that was approved and presented at the board meetings as well.
Okay, so no ELOP funding for middle school, but that other funding source helped.
Yes, that's
give
how
them
we,
some stuff.
that's how we were able to get all of those shiny things that were utilized.
In the beginning. Yeah,
Right. Mhm.
thank you.
Dr. Henry, I have one quick question. It's not a question, it's more of a suggestion. I think before we spend it on the oversight, perhaps we should consider seeing if there's any additional needs in the STEAM labs, because that seems like an investment worth doing, and every child, I assume, enjoys going to the STEAM lab. And I know you spent STEAM lab equipment money previously, so I assume you guys have looked into it, that all schools are sort of fully stocked up, and is there anything more innovative we could buy or something like that? So something for you to consider, because the salaries we're going to pay no matter what, but this funding, perhaps we could use it to beef up our STEAM labs for now and in the future. You don't have to answer now. I just want to make a suggestion, and move on. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, and because our summer program, we title it Full Steam Ahead, and we actually focus heavily on STEAM in the summer. And the ELOP money is able to fund our summer programs, all except the 7th graders. That we were able to get some things for STEAM for ELOP that were used during the summer. Okay. So our second bucket of funding, this one is not ongoing. It was one time that we received the money, and we put together, we had up to 5 years. The plan we submitted was very robust and for professional learning. And so the majority of the funds have been spent. We have very little left. But you can see that we were allocated one time $280,000. That first year we spent $46,000 on professional development, materials for thinking maps, training for all staff, and then also those $1,000 professional growth reimbursement stipends that any staff member can apply for, as long as they're going into an approved program. And Eva and I in HR, we review all of those, and it goes through a series of approvals. The second year, we spent $123,000. That was our big year. We continued the writing program training. We had 9 trainers, and what happened is they had to get trained in how to train and stay ahead of our staff. So we had to pay them for their time. A lot of it was over the summer. And so we paid them for that. And then actually they came back and were able to train our staff for free. So we paid them for their time and that training. We implemented thinking maps and our writing program, 2 different modules of the writing program, setting the stage as well as narrative writing. It also was used to fund 6 of our professors to become GATE certified through UC San Diego, and also PBIS training. That first year, we did purchase a learning platform for our professors related to thinking maps in the writing program. We used it for 2 years. It was a little pricey, and then we decided that we surveyed our teachers, and they didn't think it was necessary. They weren't using it a lot, so we let that one go. 23-24, we spent $54,000 training stipends for the trainers. One of them went to a different school. We ended up having 8 that year. They delivered the writing PD, professional growth reimbursement stipends for all staff. Another 6 teachers went through GATE certification, and then we did 2 more models for the Right from the Beginning writing program, which was expository and informative writing, as well as response to text. PBIS training, ARIES training for our staff, as well as some admin training. This year, we have $55,000 left. We are putting the professional development reimbursement stipends as a priority. It's really important that we use the funding for that, because a requirement of this money is that we help our teachers that are going through induction programs for reimbursement, that we contribute some to that. So that's why that is a priority. We are offering PBIS Tier 3 training, response to text training, trainer stipends, subject areas, coordinators, and gate coordinator stipends. So that should take care of all of that funding source for the rest of the year, or for forever until we get something new. And then finally, the MTSS grant. So again, one time we were given the funding, $165,000. We applied as a consortium. That first year, we didn't get the money until January, and it took some time to like set up the training, the certification, and train our staff on how to get started. So we didn't spend any of the money. The second year, we spent $20,000. That any staff member, the purpose of this grant was that educators get certified in how to implement a multi-tiered system of support. So most of our money goes towards their $1,000. They get a one-time $1,000 stipend paid out of the grant if they go through the 40 hours of certification. It is a heavy lift. So that first year we had 17 teachers, and then we also paid for MTSS conference registration. And then last year we had 10 more go through and become certified. We paid for MTSS conference registration and some materials for an MTSS training. This year, we do have quite a bit left to spend. We'll be able to, the money will carry over to next school year as well. So how will we spend the money this year? Again, stipends for MTSS certification. We had a training on October 11th, and I had probably, not only are the ones still signed up that haven't finished yet, because they still have time to finish, but we had an additional 10 new staff members also sign up for the certification. Additional training in MTSS, PBIS, as well as we're paying for the MTSS conference this year. So, and that's just, we asked teachers who would like to go. It's in Anaheim. It's not very costly because there's not travel with it associated with it. I wanted to use the opportunity to share one more new source of funding. So there is a new capacity growth grant. It's approximately $100,000. It will be one-time allocated. You can see the allocations here are for all 3 schools. This grant was directly funded to OCDE, Orange County Department of Education. The purpose is to help districts grow capacity in providing school-linked mental health services to students. And then also, because there's a way we could submit for reimbursement when we provide mental health services, this grant is to build our capacity to be able to bill for those services in the future. So what we, Mr. Lauro and I have been to several office hours and meetings that OCDE is holding, where different districts across Orange County talk about how they're spending the money and what's allowable and what's not, and what will help best move us forward to be able to do this. So we are really looking right now at professional learning for our school counselors and Scholar Academy team, specifically our school psychologists as well. And then also use some of the funding, because someone is going to have to coordinate all these mental health services, and the billing is using it for that coordination as we get ready to do that. OCDE will provide an MOU. They are in the process. They just said we'll have it soon. As soon as we get their MOU, we will bring that back to the board of directors.
Can I ask a question about that grant? Just to confirm then, the action item B, we're approving us applying for the grant, or we're already set up to
Yes.
get an allocation and we're
Yeah,
approving the seat.
we don't really need to, we opt in. So what
Okay.
you're approving is we don't have to
That works.
apply,
Okay.
just we have to say, yes, we will
We
do
will take
this.
the funds.
Absolutely.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, community input. Members of the public may comment on items listed on the agenda or non-agendized items only. A speaker may not relinquish their time to another person. Are there any comments on agenda or non-agendized items?
I have not received anything. No.
Okay. Items for action. Oh, the fun stuff now. Item A, South Orange County Chancellor appointment, Dr. Pricker.
Thank you so much, Board of Education and members of the community. It is my absolute pleasure to make the announcement for whom we selected for the new chancellor at our SOC campus. So I would like to read a short little biography about Miss Jackie Merlette, because Jackie is being named as our new chancellor. So Miss Merlette is originally from New Jersey, where she lived for over 30 years. She's earned a Bachelor of Science degree in special education from the College of New Jersey and a Master's of Science in Education Administration from the University of Scranton. She served as a special education teacher with a focus on pre-K through 8th grade students in the Monroe Township School District for about 10 years. Ms. Merlette moved then to California and joined the OPA family in 2016. She initially served as educational specialist before moving into the role of dean. She served as dean for 5 years, which I did not know, starting at our Saddleback Valley campus and then transferring over to the South Orange County SOC site. Most recently, she served as interim chancellor at SOC, continuing her longstanding commitment and support to the students and staff and OPA as a whole. She is a versatile leader who brings a depth of knowledge and experience to the role of chancellor. In addition to her professional work, Ms. Merlette serves year-round as a year-round volunteer for Special Olympics. And she also is joined with her family, her spouse of 10 years, and her son. Ms. Merlette is passionate advocate for all students, ensuring that she provides individual attention and service to provide access and support and inclusion and the equitable education for all that she serves. She is a dedicated and collaborating leader, and she is a longstanding family member of the OPA community. And we welcome her tonight as she takes her official role as the new chancellor of the SOC campus. So I want to invite Ms. Merlette up.
Should we
I
do
want
a
to-
vote first and then
I was
make
gonna
it
have the,
official?
I was gonna have the board say a few words, and then can you vote?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna turn it over. Can you come on up? Because we just want to recognize you. I'm gonna turn it over for you because I know that the board likes to speak on behalf of different members that we celebrate before you vote.
I first met Jackie when she did ESY here at SB with my son, and that was 8 years ago, which is absolutely crazy to think about that I've been for that long. And it has been a pleasure to see you grow and improve, and we have absolutely loved having you as dean at SOC and now chancellor. We're very excited for you.
Thank you.
We haven't interacted, so I have no comments other than wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Member Kagu, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, congratulations, Ms. Millett. Very, very happy, well deserved, and super happy to see where you're going to take the school, even though I'm not there. Congratulations again. Good luck.
Thank you.
And I'll also share my congratulations. I think I'm getting to know you better. I'm very excited to continue growing that relationship. And I agree that OPA is lucky at large to continue to have you as part of the OPA family, and then SOC specifically to now have you as their chancellor. So congratulations.
With that, do you want to take a vote?
Yeah, so I will call for a vote. Do I have a motion?
Happily, I'll be second.
Okay. And then roll call vote, Member Travis absent, Member Kagu,
Aye.
Member Smith is aye, Member DeLune, and Member Freiler.
Aye.
Well, we just made it official. Congratulations and welcome.
Turn it over to Jackie to say a few words.
Sure. Thank you so much. Good evening, Board of Directors, Executive Administrative Team, everyone on Zoom and members of the public. It truly is a privilege to address you all today as the new Chancellor at Oxford Preparatory Academy, South Orange County Elementary School. I'm deeply grateful for the trust and confidence that you've placed in me, and I'm really excited about continuing serving the OPA SOC community in this new capacity. I've been a part of the OPA family, as we said, for over 8 years now, both professionally and also as an OPA parent. And I am genuinely invested in the success of our students and our staff. This year, I've already had the privilege of supporting over 700 elementary students on our campus, and I really truly look forward to seeing them all continuing to thrive, learn, and grow. I'd also like to take a moment just to thank my husband and my son who are here for their endless support. I have been just truly fortunate and blessed to have had the opportunity to even watch my own child grow and thrive over the past 7 years at OPA SV. And I do believe that it's truly attributed to the strength of our programs here, our dedicated staff, and the effectiveness of OPA's mission and value and mission and vision. So thank you all again for this wonderful opportunity, and I look forward to just deepening my collaboration with the board, the SOC, families, and community to further provide an environment for growth and learning and excellence for all of our champions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you to your family who joined us tonight. Get you home and into bed now, yeah? All right, moving on to items for action and item B, Children and Youth Behavioral Initiative and Capacity Grant. The California Department of Education, in partnership with the Orange County Department of Education, is implementing a Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative and Capacity Grant to enhance school-linked behavioral health services. OPA qualifies for $98,279.55 in the following site allocations. OPA SOC, $37,713.97. OPA SV, $29,078.53. And OPA Middle School, $31,487.05. OPA is developing a plan to submit to OCDE detailing our use of the funds for coordinating mental health services for our students and providing additional training to our school counselors and Scholar Academy staff. Funds must be expended by June 30th, 2027. It is recommended that the Board of Directors approve action item B. May I get a motion and a second? I'll make a motion. Oh, you're gonna, all right. Member DeLune gave the motion, I'll second. All right, do we have any discussion? I know we just got the presentation and discussed a little bit there, so everyone's good. Okay, I will call for a vote. Member Travis is absent. Member Kagu?
Aye.
Member Smith is aye. Member DeLune? And Member Freiler?
Aye.
Thank you. Items for consent. Items listed under consent are voted on by the board in one motion. There is no discussion of these items prior to the vote unless a member of the board or staff requests specific items to be pulled from consent. Before making a motion, would any member like to pull an item from the consent calendar? All right, hearing none, we will move on then. The executive director recommends approval on all consent items. Following approval by the board, each item shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted as recommended. Can I please have a motion and a second? Thank you. And roll call vote. Member Travis is absent. Member Kagu?
Aye.
Member Smith is aye. Member DeLune?
Aye.
And Member Freiler?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. So that takes us to executive director report. Sorry, I saw another. Okay. Executive director report.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to congratulate Jackie. It was such it's a long process, but I'm glad that we, found you and you accepted our offer and that you are now officially the chancellor of FNC. So I know that the staff is happy. I went to a staff meeting and, we could not be more thrilled for you. So, speaking of staff meetings, I've attended all, staff meetings at all 3 locations. Just to check in, I normally do a check-in in the fall at a staff meeting. I give some brief central office updates and then kind of observe and kind of take in the action of what's going on the daily meeting, on their daily meetings. So I do that in the fall and then I will do that again in the spring. So I'll schedule that again with you guys. I also do the same thing with our honor societies. So I've been around now to all of the honor societies and had a meeting with them, understanding what their needs are, what their normal cadence of business is, and then more importantly, like how can we support them from the central office and build that partnership with them. So that's really important to do. We had really robust conversation. Today was SV. So that was a good thing to kind of, they were my last honor society, but that was a good thing to kind of hear their voices and then answer some questions for them. We have completed our needs assessment for the fall. And so we have compiled and debriefed that with the chancellors and our administrative team so that we can now go through the prioritizing those items, and then we will go into strategic planning in the spring. So we're well underway with that. We will be giving an update to the board in either December or January as to where we are with that strategic planning process. And much of the information that we have gathered and that we will be putting in place for that plan will go through our committees, of which the board members are on. So you'll be seeing some of those things pop up on your agenda. We have started the Academic Excellence Committee. That also happened earlier today. There will be the definition of academic excellence. I know that this has been worked on over the past year or 2. And so it's finally come to fruition. It's gone through all of the cycles of administration and staff feedback. And then it's now finally ready for the board to look at and approve. You'll be getting that in the Friday update. And then we will be having a presentation at the December 12th board meeting to present that to the board and to the public for the first time. So Dr. Henry will be doing that work and we'll be bringing that shortly. We are still waiting for Mr. Laurel's little one to be born. So we're on standby, but the baby should be born today or early in the morning. So we're excited for that. And congratulations to them. And then the literature day was very, very cute and successful. Just a cadre of costumes and books, and the celebration of the day could not be more special. I thought it was very, very well done. So I had a great time going on school sites. And then I just a final note, I know that over in HR, it's really important that we look at our staff and we want to value our staff and make sure that we always make sure that they have what they need. Friday in their paychecks, they will be receiving their 2% off schedule salary increase that was approved last May. And we will be putting that forward for them right in time for the holiday season. So that's a big win and a celebration. And thank you to the board for doing that. And that ends everything.
Thank you. All right, Board of Directors reports. I'll just jump real quick and be brief given the time. I just want to say congratulations to Ms. Ship at SOC, our OCDE Counselor of the Year for charters and private schools. A huge win for our OPA community, and we are so grateful to have Ms. Ship as a part of the team, and thank you for all that you do for our students. I also wanted to give a shout out to our classified staff of the year. I assume we might be doing some recognitions at a future board meeting, but since it was announced, just want to say congrats to Ms. Pizarro, Ms. McAlexander, and Ms. Rydell, right? Okay, great work, everyone. We love to really showcase and celebrate our OPA staff. So thank you to everyone. And then Member Freiler?
In the finance committee meeting, we discussed and convened with legal about a change to the fiscal policy that will be put forth in December.
Thank you. Member Dillon?
The governance committee has not met, but it's getting its legs. It has its first scheduled meeting, at least since I've joined the board on December 3rd. So we'll be able to sink our teeth into what our governance priorities are going to be, and we'll execute from there.
Thank you. Then member Kagu,
Yeah, I yield my time.
thank you. All right, now we will be recessing to closed session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We are reconvening to open session at 10:27 PM. We have no action to report from closed session. Adjournment is recommended that the board adjourn the special meeting of the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors on November 14th, 2024. May I get a motion and a second?
Okay.
Thank you. And roll call vote, Member Travis is absent, Member Kagu,
Aye.
Member Smith is aye, Member DeLune,
Aye.
and Member Freiler.
Aye.
And with that, the meeting is adjourned at 10:28 PM.